In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about running your car low on fuel. And this video would be somewhat of a myth busters. As you can see, my fuel gauge is on E. I have a low fuel light, and my car is telling me that I have 25 miles to go before I run out of gas. Well, unfortunately, about 4.5, almost 5 years ago, I decided to cut back on work because of a family issue. And then about 4 years ago, I quit work altogether. So running low on gas has been a pretty much normal every week occurrence with me, seeing this low fuel light come on. And I heard a lot of people say, if you run your car low on gas, you'll mess up the fuel pump and tear the fuel pump up and then have a problem with replacing the fuel pump. Well, fuel pumps are expensive, and having someone else replace them are even more expensive. So you're looking at fuel pumps, average $200, having somebody replace it, $250. You're looking at a $450 to $600 problem. Well, I'm here to tell you that I've run my car low on fuel sometime twice a week, and I haven't had any issues at all with my fuel pump, and let me explain to you why. I purchased my black Volvo wagon with about 188,000 miles on it, and today it has 262,000 miles on it. And in all those miles, I've still run it low on fuel probably twice a week, sometimes that gauge telling me I had less than 20 miles to go. Well, it's not something I enjoy doing, it's just part of life, unfortunately for me. When you put fuel in your gas tank, fuel goes into the tank and fills up from the bottom up. Now, a lot of you may not know it, but a fuel sending unit is attached to the top of the tank, and it reaches an arm down to the bottom, and it sucks fuel from the bottom of the tank. It doesn't float around. The arm is designed to touch the bottom of the tank. The fuel pump unit down there has a sock on it. I'll show you a picture of one of those. Here's a fuel pump assembly, and you can see the sock on the bottom of it. That sock on the bottom of the fuel tank acts as the first level of a filter to stop the fuel pump from picking up dirt and grime and debris from the bottom of the tank. I hear people say, don't let your car get low on gas, it'll suck up the dirt and stuff from the bottom of it. Well, it's trying to suck that up already. Now there's a fuel tank there. On the Volvos, the sending unit actually gets into a chamber that tries to hold the gas and pull the gas up and keep some in close to where the pickup is. So as the car splashes around, it'll fill up that little chamber and help the sending unit always to have gas. As long as you have gas and gas is being sucked up through the fuel pump, it keeps the fuel pump cool. Now, of course, some cars have the fuel pump inside the tank, some have it outside. I'll show you a picture of the fuel pump, but that pump is probably pumping somewhere around 50 psi. So it's sucking up whatever it can through that sock, which again, I'll say the sock is your first level of defense. I'll show you a picture of a fuel pump. Once it gets picked up by the fuel pump, the fuel gets sucked through a fuel filter. So the fuel filter is the second level of defense to pick up contaminants. Now, if for some reason your sock is deteriorating in your pump and your pump starts picking up dirt, which can cause that pump to be ground out a little bit, this fuel filter will catch the remaining of the dirt. That's why you're supposed to replace your fuel filter in most cars every 100,000 miles. Here's the fuel pump there. In this unit, it attaches almost directly to the sock on the bottom of the tank. Once that fuel makes it up to the motor, it'll go through your fuel injectors, and your injectors spray fuel in your cylinders. That helps the car run. So as long as there's fuel inside the tank, the fuel pump is cooled by the fuel that runs through it. Yes, it may be better if it was submerged in gas, but in more than 70,000 miles of me running my car less than a quarter of a tank of gas, I haven't had any issues with my fuel pump. Now, I run fuel injector cleaner in my car every 2,500 miles or 3 months, it's supposed to help lubricate the fuel pump, which may or may not help it last longer, but it's mainly to clean deposits out of your cylinder in your valves. But nonetheless, I do put this in my tank that's supposed to help extend the life of your fuel pump. Now, another thing people say about fuel and things in your tank is that if you let it run low on gas, it'll pick up water that may be floating around in there. Well, I used to be an airplane mechanic, and we used to pump thousands and thousands of gallons of gas. One thing that I learned in doing that is water is heavier than fuel. So anytime you pump water from a gas station with the gas into your fuel tank, that water is going to sink to the bottom of the fuel tank, and your fuel pump's going to pick it up, and you're going to know it within a couple of miles of pumping that bad gas. Now here's a water bottle with some old fuel in it that I'm draining out of this car. I'm going to add about a shot glass full of water to it. Or matter of fact, I'll add an ounce so you can see what happens to that water. Okay, I'm about to let this hose leak some water in here. That should be enough. Now, if you look in this bottle, already the water has settled at the bottom. So it doesn't matter if you have a full tank of gas or if you're close to empty. If there's water in that fuel, it's going straight to the bottom of your fuel tank, and that fuel pump's going to pick it up, suck it into your motor, and mess up your fuel injection system. So here's this bottle of fuel, like half and half almost. I'll mix it up as fast as I can. When I let it stop, in a matter of seconds, that water settles back on the bottom of that bottle. Now, by no means am I encouraging you to run your car low on fuel, because if you run out of gas and your pump starts sucking up air, the air is not good for the fuel system, and that air will burn that pump out. Because if that pump is running with no fuel in it, that pump will heat up real fast and burn right out. So it's my experience that running low on fuel is not an issue. It's running out of fuel. So don't let that scare you, being a little low, and always make sure you don't run out. If you got any questions, go ahead and post them. If you feel that this information was beneficial, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can also subscribe to my channel so that you can get notification of future videos that I post. Visit my channel. I have all types of do-it-yourself videos there. You can leave questions here, and I'll try to respond to them as quick as possible. You can also visit my website at robertspinner.com. Thanks again for watching.